covering days 1 and 2 of both Pakistan versus West Indies at Sabina Park and India versus England at Lord's on this volume of CRIQAZI Diaries.
Have a look at that, miles up, oh, it's nearly taken someone out in the stands. That was a flat six right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, up into the members, and it went like a rocket. Well, wicket 24.
Start करते हैं पाकिस्तान वर्सेस वेस्ट इंडीज से. अ वेरी गुड टॉस टू विन फॉर वेस्ट इंडीज एज दे पुट पाकिस्तान इनटू बैट. और मुझे मैच से पहले लग तो रहा था कि कुछ ना कुछ कैरी मिलेगा फास्ट बॉलर्स को इस विकेट पे एंड देयर विल बी सम असिस्टेंस, मगर मुझे ये आइडिया नहीं था. आई वाज नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग एट ऑल कि इतनी सीमर फ्रेंडली विकेट होगी एंड द बॉल विल बी मूविंग एंड सीमिंग अराउंड दैट मच. सो पाकिस्तान का जो फैसला है ऑफ प्लेइंग मोहम्मद अब्बास अहेड ऑफ नोमान अली एंड प्लेइंग द फोर्थ सीमर, इन माई ओपिनियन दैट वाज द राइट ऑप्शन. सो क्रेडिट टू द मैनेजमेंट फॉर दैट. Once again, Pakistan's openers failed to deliver against top-draw opposition. Both Abid Ali and Imran Butt lost their wickets fairly cheaply. और Imran Butt in particular जो है ना, I feel like his place in the team is under the scanner now. क्योंकि एक तो उसका dismissal बहुत ज़्यादा ugly था. He played all across that delivery that was coming in, got bowled, and that sort of dismissal really makes you question कि क्या is this person cut out for test cricket or not. And he's a fantastic fielder in the slip cordon, but उसके basis पे तो आप बार-बार select नहीं हो सकते. And he's desperate for runs at this point. And if it were up to me, I would open with Azhar Ali and slot in Saud Shakil in the middle order in Imran Butt's place. क्योंकि Saud Shakil का fantastic record in first class cricket and he's a much better option with the bat and provides you a bit of buffer with the ball. He bowls left arm off spin. अच्छा, Azhar Ali से मैं open तो करा रहा हूँ, but it's not like he looked comfortable either. He had a lot of near misses in that innings. कई दफ़ा आउट दे दिया गया था, but the review saved him and eventually he just nicked one to slips. तो अगर अजहर को आपने खिलानी है तो फिर as opener utilize कर लो. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could very well be wrong over here, but yeah, I did not look too promising from Azhar Ali at all, and I was expecting him to go big this series. आ जाते हैं बाबर और रिजवान पे. पाकिस्तान की रीसेंट हिस्ट्री के अंदर द टू मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल बैट्समैन फॉर द नेशनल टीम एंड टुडे अगेन दे लुक्ड इन सुप्रीम टच और लग रहा था जैसे बहुत बड़ा स्कोर करेंगे दोनों और सेट भी हो गए थे दोनों. बाबर वाज ऑन 30, रिजवान ऑन 23, बट देन दे डिड लूज देयर विकेट्स एंड दैट वाज अ बिग ब्लो टू पाकिस्तान, स्पेशली रिजवान. लाइक ही केम आउट और सही रेयर गार्ड किस्म का नॉक खेलने लग गया था एट अ वेरी हाई स्ट्राइक रेट, बट देन ही वुड बी रियली डिसअपॉइंटेड विद हिज डिसमिसल क्योंकि द बॉल गॉट अ लिटिल बिग ऑन हिम. ही लॉस्ट हिज बैलेंस एंड ही होल्ड आउट टू द inner ring fielder. तो अगर रिजवान थोड़ा लंबा रुक जाता ना, I think even more than Babar, Pakistan would have been in a better position. तो जी पाकिस्तान हो गई थी 100 for 5. They looked in a spot of bother और फिर आ गया आपका पेयर, 6th wicket pair, which came to Pakistan's rescue. Who else other than Fawad Alam and Fahim Ashraf? Both of them have performed so well in Test cricket of late. और Fawad with yet another 50+ score. बहुत ज़्यादती हुई है वैसे फवाद आलम के साथ. 2017 में when Misbah Yunus retired, he should have been a shoo-in into the team, or yet he played after so long. और मेरे तो ख्याल से थोड़ा उसका करियर हमने ज़ाया कर दिया है. He's been consistent with the bat ever since his return. ठीक है, इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ he might not have gotten a score, but उसके बाद जो वो सीरीज़ खेले ना, he scored at least 100 and again another 50 for him in very testing conditions. तो सलूट है भाई मेरा तो फवाद आलम को. फिर बात कर लेते हैं फ़हीम अशरफ की. Someone who does cop a lot of criticism, especially for his performances in limited overs cricket. और सारा criticism गलत भी नहीं है. I do feel like he's underperformed और इससे ज़्यादा potential है फ़हीम अशरफ में. But will you believe that in 2021 Fahim Ashraf is averaging 48.5 with the bat in Test cricket? So seems like this format is child's play for him. जब भी आता है pressure वाली situation में crucial runs करके देता है. Again he scored 44 at a very very critical period in the game. और एक चीज़ बस मुझे दुख है कि he got run out and that for me is inexcusable in Test cricket. 85 की partnership हो गई थी फवाद और फहीम की and had he not gotten run out, थोड़ा लंबा टिक जाता तो Pakistan would have scored at least 50 to 60 runs more and I think we are 50 to 60 runs short. तो ये एक opportunity missed है. Pakistan will be feeling a little disappointed कि 217 ही कर पाए सिर्फ, क्योंकि 185 for 5 से सीधा आप 217 all out हो गए. So that's not a lot of runs. That's 32 runs in which you lost your last 5 wickets and that I think could be the difference in this game. बात करें अगर वेस्ट इंडीज़ के बॉलर्स की तो आई थिंक जेडन सील्स, द 19-year-old from Trinidad and Tobago who was only playing his third test, he was very impressive. He took 3 wickets and even though he was a bit on the expensive side, he did go for 70 runs. I think it was a really good audition for him and he looks like a solid prospect for the West Indies in Test cricket. और मतलब अल्जारी जोसेफ बार बैठा हुआ है for Jaden Seals, so I think he definitely lived up to his selection. Baki veteran seamer Kemar Roach brought all of his experience to the table. He was very consistent with his lines and lengths, and he did bag a brace to show for his work. But the pick of West Indies fast bowling was Jason Holder. Surprise, surprise. He continues to trouble Pakistan. बहुत probing lengths करा रहा था, and he got rewarded for it with 3 wickets for 26 runs. And he's been an absolute superstar, undisputed superstar for West Indies in Test cricket. And again in this Test match, क्योंकि उसने इतनी crucial 50 भी मार दी है. Khair, even though Pakistan got dismissed for 217 on the first day, they did end that day on top as they bagged 2 quick wickets. Mohammad Abbas, of course, vindicating his selection with 2 wickets and 2 balls. और वहाँ पे तो मैं कहूँगा पाकिस्तान on top था at the end of that day, and West Indies fought back very, very valiantly on day 2. In fact, I would say it was their day altogether. West Indies batsmen, of course, did find it difficult. There were 3 ducks in that innings: Kieran Powell, Nkrumah Bonner and Mayers. Magar chalo, Mayers or Bonner to nahi hai, so they get a pass. But Kieran Powell, I don't know why West Indies have gone with him as opener. He's had a pretty substandard career in Test cricket. और अगर आपने chance लेना ही था तो I would have gone with Shea Hope. At least he has a 53 plus average in ODI cricket as opener. तो उसको शायद खिलाकर देख लेती West Indies, and I really hope they do try that. खैर क्रेडिट तो डेफिनेटली देना पड़ेगा वेस्ट इंडीज को. दे वर 2 for 2 और फिर डे 2 में आकर दे स्कोर 249 रन्स, लॉस्ट ओनली 6 विकेट्स, 34 ahead of Pakistan at this moment, and Joshua De Silva is still at the crease. तो मेरे तो ख्याल से they're in a better position in this game. Roston Chase and Craig Brathwaite started the day pretty well up until Hassan actually removed Roston Chase. और फिर जो Jermaine Blackwood है, he never really looked good in this innings. He was really edgy and he did hole out on 22 versus Shaheen Afridi. और फिर Afridi struck again very next ball, removing Kyle Mayers for a duck. So he also got 2 and 2 in this game. And West Indies were reeling at 105 as well. जहां पाकिस्तान के लिए फवाद और फहीम चले, वहां होल्डर एंड ब्रैथवेट came to West Indies rescue. They put on a partnership of 96 runs, and I think that's where they really took the game away from Pakistan. And of course, Craig Brathwaite, what a captain's knock he's played. Played so beautifully down the ground with a straight bat, and he fell 3 short of 100. A great direct hit from Hassan Ali from all the way close to the boundary, and I really feel like Brathwaite deserved that 100, and that wicket was a really, really crucial one for Pakistan. And then of course Jason Holder, who just continues to impress in Test cricket. मेरे हिसाब से he definitely makes the top 3 all-rounders in Test cricket alongside Ben Stokes and Ravindra Jadeja. और after taking 3 for 26 with the ball, he scored 58 for West Indies when the chips were down, and he took the attack to Yasir Shah, took a particular liking to him. And Yasir, he hasn't really had a good game again. He's been quite cold for a while, but I mean, I'm going to reserve my judgment till West Indies bat again, क्योंकि 4th innings में Yasir could be a handful. Khair, barring Yasir, I think Pakistan seamers, they generally did pretty well, and they will want to come tomorrow and wrap this innings up ASAP. West Indies are 34 ahead, they are 8 down at 251. और जितनी भी ज़्यादा ये लीड स्वेल होएगी उतनी ही ज़्यादा ये गेम वेस्ट इंडीज़ के फेवर में जाएगी. Pakistan will recognize that and will definitely want to limit them under a lead of 50. So while West Indies are slightly ahead in this game, by no means are Pakistan out of it. And थर्ड इनिंग्स के अंदर पाकिस्तान जितने भी रन्स करती है, दैट्स वेयर द गेम विल बी डिसाइडेड. आई फील पाकिस्तान विल वांट टू सेट वेस्ट इंडीज अ टारगेट ऑफ एटलीस्ट 200, ideally 250. So let's see how that pans out. We are definitely up for an exciting day's play tomorrow. Moving on to the India-England game now. England won the toss and put India into bat. Extremely testing conditions for both openers, and they did extremely well to survive. Run rate बहुत ही low था till like the first 15 overs, and then finally Rohit Sharma started getting some runs. Sam Curran started feeding his leg, and Rohit Sharma obliged, and then he went on to score 83. And I feel like this might be that watershed moment for Rohit Sharma in Test cricket. We know he was never a regular, और opener तो तब खेलता भी नहीं था जब खेलता था. And अभी criticism उस पे ये होता था कि he only gets his runs in India. He averages less than 30 with the bat outside of India and has never scored 100 abroad. So this could be one of those watershed innings which really cements Rohit Sharma's place in the Test team. देखिए, बहुत बड़ी बात है रोहित शर्मा के लिए to come and see out the new of ball, especially in England, because he's an attacking batsman by nature. But once he was set, जब उसको करण ने set कर दिया, he did bring out his full array of shots, the hooks, the pulls. एक तो बड़ी कमाल hook मारी उसने Mark Wood को for 6, and it took an absolute seed of an in-swinger from Jimmy Anderson to remove him. He got bowled, and India did get a partnership of 126 opening partnership, which is really commendable, especially in these conditions, and that is the reason why they ended up with a high score. Partnering Rohit Sharma, of course, was KL Rahul, and what a series he's having. उसका तो कोई chance भी नहीं था इस series में open करने का, because Mayank Agarwal was set to play, but then Mayank got hit in the head, he got concussed, and KL got into the team. और जब से आया ना, he's literally proved a point. It's a statement of a series for him. और आज जब रोहित जब तक था ना क्रीज पे, he was really circumspect और बहुत slow run rate पे खेल रहा था. But when Rohit got out, he started attacking, और तब तक he had spent a lot of time on the crease, and then we got to see those delightful square drives as well, which he's used to his advantage so well. And really, I'm a big fan of KL Rahul. I think अब इस सीरीज के बाद ना इंडिया के जो टेस्ट क्रिकेट में ओपनर्स हैं वो सेट हो जाएंगे, रोहित शर्मा एंड केएल राहुल. दैट्स जस्ट माय पर्सनल फीलिंग. Rahul of course went on to score his 600 in test cricket, perhaps his most important knock yet, and he managed to get his name on the coveted Lord's Honours Board. तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, शानदार इनिंग्स खेला है, और जितनी भी तारीफ की जाए केएल राहुल की वो कम है. पिछले कुछ वॉल्यूम्स में we've been discussing Chiteshwar Pujara a lot, and he didn't do himself any favors today. He failed again. फिर से 9 पे dismiss हो गया by Jimmy Anderson. And what was worrying was कि जो Pujara hai na, he made a name for himself in test cricket with a solid defense, and he was a really compact cricketer who played close to his body, and here you saw him dismissed playing so away from his body. तो ये मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही. I feel like he's just a few innings away from being dropped. Let's see if he can bounce back, but at this point I highly doubt it. And then India's skipper Virat Kohli did manage to get somewhat of a score. He managed 42, but he looked really uncomfortable in that innings. Consistently struggle कर रहा था वो उसी fourth stump line पे, and eventually he succumbed to a Robinson delivery in that same channel. This is a big worry for Virat Kohli. काफी देर से runs dry up हुए हैं, and like he is a class batsman, perhaps the best all-format batsman in modern day cricket. So I do feel like he's one innings away from being that batsman again, but this will definitely keep Virat Kohli up at night. Khair, nonetheless, India ended day one in an extremely strong position, and they were definitely dominating England at that point, only to give it up all away on day two. England bounced back right at the start of the day as they removed both Rahul and Rahane early on. Rahul finally got one of his square drives wrong and was the first to be dismissed in the day. He will be really disappointed because it looked like he was all set to score a mammoth 100. It was very much on the cards, and that would have really sealed the game for India. So, crucial wicket up front. And Ajinkya Rahane looked absolutely terrible for the time he was on the crease. He was beaten umpteen times only to eventually nick one to slip off Jimmy Anderson. Who else? And Rahane जो है ना, मेरे ख्याल से पुजारा से भी ज़्यादा अब under the scanner आ गया, because this year he's averaging less than 20 now. Another single digit score, and things aren't looking bright at all for India's vice captain. So even though India consistently getting big scores or decent scores thanks to their top order and then also their lower middle order, I feel like their middle order, which is Kohli, Rahane and Pujara, which is also the spine in test cricket, they really need to start firing, क्योंकि अगर ये fire करने लग गए, then surely it's India's series to lose. Rahane के out होने के बाद once again Rishabh Pant and Ravi Jadeja were India's saviors. Pant, of course, playing his fearless brand of cricket, bringing out all of his shots and taking the attack to England's bowlers. A very delightful knock to watch, but well, he lives by the gun and dies by the gun, and he eventually did nick a Mark Wood delivery back to Jos Buttler, playing quite an expansive stroke, but a very good-looking 37 and an important one. And then, of course, Ravi Jadeja proving to be crucial yet again for India in the lower order with the bat, scoring a very important 40, and it was a very smart innings. Because जब तक Pant था ना crease पे, he was really circumspect, really watchful, and when Pant got dismissed, that's when Ravi Jadeja brought out his shots, and he's the reason India eventually went on to make 364. India's tail was removed fairly quickly, और वो तो खैर और भी शायद जल्दी out हो जाते had England fielded well. There were so many regulation run-out chances that they missed. There was also a dropped catch in there. But India, again, they lost 7 wickets for 88 runs in the day. 364 might not prove to be enough over here. England definitely have clawed their way back into this game. और India काफ़ी disappointed होएगा. 276 for 3 at the end of day 1 and then only managing 364. You can't possibly be happy with that performance. As for England's bowlers, what better place to start than the ageless Jimmy Anderson, who once again showed us just why he's considered the best in the business. It was his 31st 5-wicket haul, 5 for 62 were his returns, and he's actually taken 30 wickets against India now at Lords, averaging just 15. And he's also set a new record in which his first fifer and his latest fifer are 18 years apart. Just imagine that. So, as they say, Jimmy Anderson might be aging like fine wine, but he didn't have a lot of support from the rest of the bowlers. I mean, Ollie Robinson was decent. I think he bowled better than his figures of 2 for 73 suggest, because I feel he was a bit unlucky. He did threaten the outside edge very, very consistently, and maybe he did deserve a few more wickets. Mark Wood on his return was fast as usual, but very wavered, and even though he picked up 2 wickets, I wasn't impressed much. And then Sam Curran was actually awful, and I don't understand what's happening. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of mileage in first class cricket in recent times, but he consistently bowled a leg side line, went for plenty, and he hasn't taken a wicket all series, so I'm wondering if England will continue to stick with him at this point. Of course, Moeen Ali was also making a comeback for England in Test cricket, and I think he bowled alright. He wasn't too good, he wasn't too bad, did manage to get some sharp turn on a few occasions, and did get the wicket of Mohammad Shami. Maybe Moeen comes more into the game in the second innings, who knows, but let's be honest over here, England are really missing the likes of Stuart Broad, who's been injured and ruled out of the series. Then Chris Wokes isn't around, who's been so good against subcontinent teams in English conditions. And then also Jofra Archer, who's out for the rest of 2021. So the bowling stocks are definitely, they're not as well stocked, I guess. And England are feeling that. As for India's bowlers, I think the seamers did decently well. I think they could have gotten even more wickets than the 3 that they did manage had the keeper and the slip cordon been standing a bit further up, because a lot of the chances they didn't carry. They did miss Shardul Thakur, who had been ruled out of this test because of an injury, but I think they made the right call by playing Ishant Sharma as a 4th seamer. ठीक है, batting थोड़ी weak हो जाती है because Shardul bats and Sharma really doesn't. But then again, I think 4-seamer वाला जो template है ना India का, I think that's going to work for them in England. And as good as a bowler as Ravi Ashwin is, I think कि यहाँ पे Ishant Sharma की ही game बनती थी. And even though Sharma hasn't looked all too convincing, I mean, he hasn't been able to generate a lot of movement. Do remember that he did take a 7-wicket haul at Lords all the way back in 2014. So you never know, in the second innings or even in this one, he might fire. Mohammad Siraj was the pick of India's bowlers. He got 2 wickets in 2 balls. Abbas ने भी लिए 2 wickets in 2, Shaheen ने भी लिए, अब सिराज ने भी ले लिए. The first of them was Dominic Sibley. Very, very disappointing dismissal. I mean, supposedly the leg side is his strong side, and he's gotten dismissed in the exact same fashion twice now. In fact, India planned for it. It was great captaincy by Virat Kohli, that leg stump line, and he lobbed it to the inner ring fielder, and really, really disappointing dismissal. He really needs to go back and check his game, and that's just unacceptable at this level. Then out came Haseeb Hameed, who's a really talented English batsman, making a comeback in Test cricket after a long time and after scoring heavy runs in domestic cricket. So definitely merit pe wapas aaya hai. But such a dismissal first up, straight ball, half volley, completely missed it. Was clean bowled by Siraj and then shushed by him as well. And I think that Haseeb Hameed is definitely talented, but he needs to sort out his mental game. Shayad mental strength thodi lack karta hai, because this was not a good delivery at all. And again, England were 23 for 2, India were on top, and he didn't do his team any favors. Rory Burns did look in good touch today. He scored 49, built a very solid partnership with Joe Root and kind of dug England out of a hole. But then he did get dismissed to Mohammad Shami, delivery coming in. And it just seems like his unorthodox stance might be responsible for this. I mean, I'm no expert, but the way he plants his foot, I feel like he gets caught on the crease and is very prone to leg before wicket. And I think that's a problem for England as well. Both their openers aren't very reliable and have technical flaws from the looks of it. So day 2 ended with England at 119 runs for the loss of 3 wickets, still 245 runs behind India, and the game is beautifully poised with English skipper Joe Root looking firm on the crease. He is of course in a rich vein of form, and honestly I feel like he looks set for another consecutive 100 in Test cricket. I think he's on 48 right now, but the onus over here is on the rest of the English batsmen to support Joe Root. I feel like it's a one-man show in this series so far, and Johnny Bairstow, Joss Butler, Moeen Ali, these guys are experienced players. They need to step up. Then you also have Sam Curran for batting depth. So England do bat deep, but they're going to need to post a big total over here, maybe get a lead of around 100 if they are to challenge India and potentially win this test match. On the flip side, of course, India will be looking to get England all out as soon as possible and then go out to bat again and post a big total for the host to chase down. So surely we're in for a riveting day 3 of Test cricket at the home of cricket, and honestly I can't wait. That's a wrap for volume 22, folks. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon in order to be notified about my latest videos. If you have any questions that you want addressed in future volumes of CRIQAZI Diaries, do tweet them at DefMango using the hashtag AskCRIQAZI, and let me know in the comments section who you think will win in both of these test matches, Pakistan or West Indies, or India or England. Let me know, and I'll catch you next time. Kazi off the mic.
Have a look at that, Smiles up, oh, it's nearly taken someone out the stands. That was a flat 6 right under the stand there, the George Giffen stand, up into the members, and it went like a rocket.